Hello, welcome to this CLE instructional video. My name is Anton and I will be helping you learn about the Hobart dish sanitizer. The anatomy of the sanitizer consists of the main body, chamber here where the dishes are actually washed. Inside the chamber here, we have the water dispenser and another sprayer here. There's also an additional sprayer at the top. Spins around. You have the rails that you will slide your racks on. And further in, you have a mesh grate here. An additional panel here. The catch basket here. This basket will catch any loose food waste or any other detritus that is on your dishes when they go through the sanitizer. Inside here you can also see the drain lever. When it's pulled up like this, your drain is open. Down like that, your drain is closed. When the drain is closed, you can fill the Hobart with water. And you will open it to drain to clean at the end of the day, or when you need to change water. For now, we'll close it. Here we have the main power switch of the Hobart. Push on, push off. Hobart is now on and it's displaying the temperature of the tank under the Hobart. So under the catch basket inside. Here you have the booster heater, which will help your Hobart stay at the temperature. Next, in the process of starting up the sanitizer, we want to fill the reservoir in the Hobart with hot water. Once you've turned on the Hobart, the next step is to fill it, which you will do by closing all of the panels. The Hobart is now filling. We can now take some time to talk about the things that go into the Hobart. Dishes, as well as detergent, which will help remove any oils or food that's still on the dishes. But in general, when the dishes go into the Hobart, we want them to just be sanitized, ready. So any chunks of food or anything that you can get off while scrubbing is best to do beforehand so the Hobart does not get over full of junk, and you can just keep using it while you're washing dishes by hand. Here we have Rinse Aid, which will help the water that's on the dishes after they go through the Hobart evaporate faster. And over here, we have Pre-Soak. Pre-Soak is good to fill a container with. So you can put Pre-Soak is good so you can fill a container to put flatware and other dishes that may have ground-in soil on them for food. And that will help loosen any food matter that's on your utensils or on your prepware that you may want to soak before you rinse it off and wash. It will help remove any grease or dried on material. With this Ecolab model, there's a nifty display readout here, which will tell you the temperature of both the rinse and the wash water. So when you're going through, you can check and make sure that the temperatures are up to the standards for sanitation. And also, it will turn red and give you an alarm if your temperature is below the required temperature, and if any of your rinse aids or detergents or anything are running low. And if they are, they're quite easy to replace. You simply take the block, remove the plastic film, and place it in the container. The things for the Hobart that you will need to have on hand are Pre-Soak, blue oval, rinse additive, bluish-green octagon, and detergent, white ovoid. Now that the Hobart is finished filling, it's ready to sanitize some dishes. There are 4 kinds of racks that you can put dishes and flatware on to go into the Hobart. The first is the flat rack. It's best for silverware, which you will lay out flat on the flat rack and usually cover with another rack like so, to make sure that the silverware does not bounce out into the catch basket. The flat rack is also good for tall items, like white compost buckets that need to get washed but are too tall to fit on the other racks. Next is the most common rack, the spike rack, which is used for anything that you can fit on it that will not fall through the holes. Usually best to layer items to make most efficient use of space. Now for glassware. This is a glass rack. It is used for drinking glasses, which are placed upside down, so the side that you would drink out of is facing the bottom. And it's also best to cover with another rack, so glasses aren't flipped upside down and filled with water in the cycle. And lastly, we have a cup rack, usually used for mugs and cups, over by the coffee machine. Again, place drinking side down, and if you want to cover those with something you can, but they're usually less uniform, so it's rather difficult. Up to you on that. One item that will certainly not fit in your Hobart on the racks are sheet pans. Sheet pans must be put in diagonally, for the first one at least. Open the hatch all the way, and slide the pan in diagonally with the bottom on one of the racks of the Hobart. Once it is in, if you have additional sheet pans, you may want to stack them on the sides. Okay, let's say we're ready to load some dishes. Here we have some plates and small blue bowls that are cleaned and ready to be sanitized. Any orientation for putting them in is fine, as long as it's able to be taken out as well. To start the Hobart, simply close the doors. In addition to the Ecolab display, this temperature dial right here will display the wash temperature and rinse temperature when the cycle is running. Right now it says wash. After it's done washing, it will switch to rinse, and after rinse, it will just switch back to the temperature. That is when you can safely open the doors without any hot water spraying you in the face. Now that the rinse cycle is finished, it's time to remove our dishes from the Hobart. Note they will still be quite hot, but as long as you have the space, it's okay to let them cool for a minute. During the day, if the water in the catch basket becomes very cloudy or full of starch, it's often best to drain the water using the drain switch here, and then refill the water before continuing with dishes. Because at that point, the starchy water will just make the dishes more dirty as they come out. So you can switch the water during the day, and at the end of the day, you want to drain the water to clean it. And to drain the water, you open the lever here. To make sure the Hobart will not try and refill the reservoir, make sure it is off. After one is finished with dishes for the day, it's important to empty out and clean the Hobart for the morning shift. So, the Hobart is now off and drained. Remove the panels of the Hobart that can be removed for washing. The catch basket, all interior panels, both the one from the left with no lever indent and the one on the right with the lever indent. Very important to keep these straight. Over the day, your Hobart will have accumulated some dirt and debris in the reservoir. So after it's drained, it's important to rinse that out. Depending on the angle of your sprayer, it may be best to fill a container with water and just splash out the Hobart that way. After all of the pieces are washed, it's important to wash, rinse, and sanitize both the doors and the body of the Hobart, as it may have become splashed with potential allergens during the day. After your components are washed, it's important to put them away before leaving for the night. First, your left-hand panel, with the beveled edge, not the flat edge, away from the side of the Hobart. So, next, your square handled panel, which is symmetrical, so it really doesn't matter the orientation. Next, your right-hand panel with the notch for the lever. Be sure to put it flush with the wall so you can fit the catch basket in. Lastly, your clean catch basket is the last thing to go back in your Hobart for the night. Note that it's not always important to open the front door of the Hobart if your Hobart has one. This was just for demonstration purposes. After your Hobart is reassembled and off, you're ready to go home for the night. Get some rest.